Organic apples are wonderful, but dried organic apples will extend these wonderful apples all the way into the winter. In this video, I'll show the process on how to prepare and dry these apples and make a very quick food dehydrator inside out of an old box fan and a lightweight tablecloth. After they're dry, we'll keep them nice and fresh in these canning jars. Well, let's get started with some of the details. Once you've got the apples picked, these apple core peelers work really good. I usually leave the skins on them because the peelers on these really don't work that well, especially with organic apples because they're oftentimes misshapen. A machine like this is really good because it does real fast work getting these apples really thin. If it's a nice day out, sometimes I like to do these outside because it's a little bit messy when you're doing it. It seems like the expensive machines like this and the cheap ones all work about the same. If you can pick one of these up at the thrift store, that's even better. I have processed a lot of apples like this. It sure beats using a knife. This will also work with pears and potatoes if you wanted to dry those. If you want to keep the apples a little fresher looking, you can add some lime or lemon juice. Just pour it in a bowl, and if you want to add some water to it, that'll be fine. I've tried it with straight juice and I've tried it with watering it down, and they both seem to work about the same. Just don't leave the apples too long or they'll start to brown. And if you don't want to use the juice at all, I've done it that way as well. The dried apples will just be a little darker, but they still taste fine. I like to snap the apples off so it's one continuous ring. I do not want two rings laying exactly on top of each other. You want to make sure that the sun or the air will be able to get to it. And I've also tried to dry these in one coil on a stick or a string, but they always seem to stick together. It seems like this method is really fast, and there's no chance that they'll pull and slide back together. When they're individual rings, you can stack quite a few on a tray. Now, if you do encounter any bad spots, you want to just take a knife and just carve out all those bad spots. So once you've got all of your apples on trays, you can lay them right out in the sun. You can put a window screen right over it, and this keeps the bugs out. Now at night, or if it's raining, you can take and put these right in front of a box fan. This box fan is really important because it'll keep that momentum going. You'll be amazed at how much moisture will be gone overnight. And it's best to put an old tablecloth over the fan. The wind from the fan actually keeps the tablecloth attached to the fan. No tape needed here. After the apples start to dry out, you can start to compile all the apples into one tray to save space. Once the apples are completely dry, to keep them fresh, you can store them in a glass canning jar. These have a really good seal, so in the middle of winter, they'll be as fresh as the day you put them in here. You'll be amazed how many of these apples you can actually pack into these jars. In the wintertime, sometimes we'll cut them up and put them in oatmeal, or my favorite is just right out of the jar. So next time you have way too many apples, now you've got a way to process them, and they are wonderful. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any techniques that have been really useful for you drying apples, please leave them in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy the video, please give the video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.